Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Misha. If you are new here, hi, I'm Misha. I am an author, a small business owner, and I cook, I knit. I pretty much just kind of post anything that I'm doing in my life on this channel, and I just share with you my experiences or how to do things that I've learned how to do in my short span of life. But today I really want to talk about crocheting. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I've been knitting for about 20 plus years. I recently just finished this baby blanket. Look how cute this is. So I just finished knitting this baby blanket, and I love knitting. Knitting is something that I've been doing forever. It's second nature to me. But I really wanted to learn how to crochet because you should never get too comfortable and you should always learn to do new things to keep our brain working. And I thought, well, if I know how to knit, crochet shouldn't be too much different, right? Wrong. It's very, very different. It's very different. And for those of you that are like, what is the difference? They both use yarn. Wrong. Knitting uses needles. Now these are circular needles. Crocheting uses hooks. My abuelita left me all of her hooks from crocheting because she no longer crochets. But she left me all her hooks, so I was like, I need to use them to make things. So I decided to embark on my first crochet project. I made a baby blanket. Look how cute it is. So in this, I have learned so much more about crocheting. First, I would like to say, as far as I go, crocheting was a lot harder on my hands than knitting was. And I don't know if it's just because I'm used to like the swift motion of knitting. Knitting is very much like a rhythm. Like once you get a rhythm down with knitting, you can just go. Like, I'll show you. So with knitting, all you need is a rhythm. And once you have your rhythm going, you can just sit and knit, right? Crocheting is not, at least from what I have learned in my one project that I have done. So please don't take it as like I'm some expert. I'm really not. I'm still very new at this. I couldn't necessarily find the rhythm with it, and I think a part of that is why I drop stitches. So with knitting, all of your stitches constantly live on your needles, whether they're circular needles, whether they are the flat needles. Your stitches are constantly living on here because knitting is more of like a weaving of together, like weaving your project together. And I feel like crochet is more like independent stitches that kind of come together to become a project. So I did drop a bunch of stitches in my project, which made it look a little wonky. It curved in. However, with knitting, if you drop a stitch, you have to weave it all the way back up. With crochet, I just went in after and added the stitches back, which was really easy, surprisingly. I did not think it would be that easy to add them back. And then once I added the border, you couldn't really see where the stitches were missing previously. That was nice. I have to learn, and this is a me thing, how to keep track of all of my stitches without them being on the needles. Like, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but this is just my first project. So with that being said, I really enjoyed this. It is a lot easier not to lose stitches on this. Like, it's easy to lose stitches like this, but it was a lot easier to like stop my project and just put it down and not have to worry about like the stitches sliding off my needles, which is something that I do worry about whenever I put a knitting project down. I have to make sure to set it just perfectly. If not, you will lose stitches and then it's all hell. Because on knitting projects, if one part unweaves, it'll all unweave. With this, if the little hook falls out, nothing happens. Like your little loop just sits there. That was kind of nice. I just want to share kind of my experience with learning how to crochet because I know there are a lot of knitters out there who would love to learn how to crochet but see how like different it is and get a little bit discouraged, and a lot of crocheters out there who think that knitting is so hard, I don't know why, and get discouraged from it as well. And I'm gonna say they are completely different. So like, don't go into it with preconceived notions. I thought that because my brain thinks in knitting, like, they're both very mathematic. I will say that. They're both very mathematic. But my brain can look at something and immediately create a pattern for knitting. Obviously, you guys know I've made purses and color works in knitting because my brain can think in patterns as far as knitting. My brain does not think that way in crocheting because it's completely different. Now, will it someday? Probably. But don't think that these two necessarily translate. They don't. It is a whole new thing that you're learning. So give yourself grace because it's just going to take you some time. But once you get it down, like, look how pretty this is. Now, did I find my rhythm with this? No. Did I really enjoy making this? Yes. I love learning new things. I feel like it keeps your brain alive. You know what I mean? And it keeps you young. It really did come out so beautiful. And I absolutely love how adding a crochet border is so much easier than adding a knitted border. It literally just looks so good. It ties your piece together. I actually added a crocheted border to this one as well, and I love the way that it came out. I just feel like borders always tie things together. That's just me. But this is my very first crochet project. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Also, let me know any tips and tricks that you guys have for crocheting. I also I made myself like a bookmarker. It's not quite finished. I have to do the ends. But I did like a herringbone, and I love this. Now, another thing that I really want to touch on real quick is that crochet is a lot thicker than knitting. Knitting is very lightweight and breathable. Crocheting is thick, honey. Like, unless you're doing like a cable knit in knitting, it's not a very thick, you know what I mean? Knitting is very flowy, and I think that's why it's best for clothes. And crochet is very like she a thick one, all right? She gonna hold her shape. So I wouldn't suggest crocheting for like clothing. Knitting I feel like is better for clothing and lightweight blankets, but for like thicker blankets, crocheting is the way to go. I also really wanted to learn to crochet because I really want to learn to make animals in crochet. Now, I know some of you are like, but you do make animals in knitting. Correct. But these are harder to make than crocheted animals would be, just because you can't really add wherever you want. There's like, there's only certain ways to add to knitting. And with crocheting, you have a little bit more freedom. And as far as like stuffed animals go, you do need a little bit more of that freedom. So I'm learning to crochet so I can make cute little animals and certain decorative things that I just feel like knitting isn't as cute in. And that's just like my own personal thing. I just feel that way. Please don't take my word for it. If you think that knitted animals are way cuter, that's totally okay. I personally think crocheted animals are so adorable. So that's what I want to learn to make. So that is why I started this whole endeavor. And also, I've wanted to learn to crochet forever. My abuelita, like I said, left me all of her needles, all of her hooks for crocheting. She gave them to me, so I wanted to learn to crochet with it and carry on her legacy. I unfortunately never learned from my abuelita. I learned how to knit instead, and I've just kind of stuck with it because I was good at it. But I'm going to learn how to crochet. If you guys want like crochet tutorials or like a day in the learning of crocheting, like how I'm learning how to do it, let me know in the comments below. If you guys are a knitter who knows how to crochet, what was the hardest part for you? Because I do not knit continental style, and I knit, I think it's called English style. And for crochet, continental style is how you crochet pretty much. Like, it's in this hand, you do it like this, and that's how you get that flow. At least for me, that's what I'm learning. And that's so different than how I knit. So it was definitely like a struggle a little bit. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What's something that you've learned? And if you're a crocheter learning how to knit, what do you think the differences are like for you? I think that they're both very beautiful though. But that's just my little video I wanted to kind of share with you guys. Don't forget too, I am making beanies for the holiday season with Christmas coming up. If you want a beanie to give someone, I do customize them as well. I'll link my Etsy shop down below. And thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!